If I asked you what America's most unique natural wonder is, maybe you'd say Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls. But one of the most unique natural wonders is actually what I'm standing beneath right now. Delicate Arch, a single sandstone arch in the Utah desert formed so perfectly it seems almost impossible nature made it.
Few people here are probably thinking about the fact that this arch will one day collapse. And it will collapse, most likely not tonight, but eventually. Maybe even soon. And even fewer people lining up beneath it know that a single book and a single app, along with all of us here at the Arch tonight, are speeding up its demise. This is the story of how America's most unique natural wonder is crumbling faster than expected. Before we get into the science of collapse, you have to understand the book that put arches on the map. A book, ironically, written by a man who would have done anything to keep it isolated.
Edward Abbey arrived to Arches National Monument in April 1956. He was 29 years old, earning $1.95 an hour, and living in a small government trailer somewhere around here, near Balanced Rock.
The park was still mostly dirt roads. Fewer than 30,000 visitors came that year. Abbey could hike to Delicate Arch and be completely alone, stand beneath it in silence. He kept detailed notes during his 2 seasons in the park, notes that would become Desert Solitaire, published in 1968. In that book, he described engineers stopping at his trailer to announce plans for a new paved road. They said it would increase tourism 30-fold. He wrote, "Where once a few adventurous people came on weekends to camp for a night or two and enjoy a taste of the primitive and remote, you will now find serpentine streams of Baroque automobiles pouring in and out, all through the spring and summer, in numbers that would have seemed fantastic when I worked there." He called it industrial tourism. He predicted parks would become national parking lots, that campgrounds would transform into suburban villages with elaborate RVs and the blue glow of television, that wilderness would be replaced by convenience and comfort and crowds. His most radical proposal: ban cars from national parks entirely. Force people to walk, ride horses, use bicycles, anything but automobiles.
Almost everyone dismissed this as extremism, romantic nostalgia, the ravings of a misanthrope who wanted to keep nature for himself.
But then the numbers started proving him right. In 1960, Arches had 71,600 visitors. By 1970, that was 178,000. By 1980, 290,000. By 1990, 620,000. By 2000, nearly 800,000 visitors. Steady growth, yes, but it was still predictable, manageable. But here's the deepest irony of Edward Abbey's story. The book he wrote to warn against mass tourism became one of the primary reasons people came here. It made Arches famous.
The very people who loved Abbey's warnings came here because of his descriptions. They wanted to experience what he experienced, but they couldn't because they were now part of the crowds that he predicted.
Abbey himself understood this paradox. He wrote, "Do not jump into your automobile next June and rush out to the canyon country hoping to see some of that which I have attempted to evoke in these pages. If you wish to see it as it should be seen, don't wait. There's little time." He was trying to inspire appreciation while warning people away, knowing his descriptions would bring the crowd that would threaten what he was trying to preserve. In an even deeper irony, Moab planned a housing development called Abbey Subdivision, with streets named Hayduke Court and Monkey Wrench Way after books he wrote. The author who opposed development was going to have a suburb named after him, until his family stepped in and the developers relented. But if Desert Solitaire helped to create the problem, something else happened in 2010 that supercharged it into a full-blown crisis. That was the year Instagram launched. After Instagram launched in 2010, visitation exploded. That same year, Arches topped 1 million visitors for the first time. By 2016, it was at 1.5 million. By 2019, 1.66 million. By 2021, during the peak of pandemic revenge travel, 1.8 million visitors. A 2024 study quantified what everyone suspected. Parks with high social media exposure saw 16 to 22% more visitors than those with less exposure. The effect began in 2013 as Instagram gained popularity, and it transformed how people chose to travel. And Delicate Arch is the perfect Instagram subject. Dramatic, photogenic, instantly recognizable. Every sunset photo posted brings more people, and every viral post creates another wave. And it turns out, all of those people are having a measurable impact on the rock itself. But before we dive into the science, I want to thank the sponsor helping us tell stories about our national parks, AG1. AG1 is the daily health drink that combines your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants into one simple green scoop. It's one of the easiest things you can do to support your body every day.
Look, we spend a lot of time on the road filming Park Vibes videos, and it's easy to get stuck in a doom loop of gummy worms, gas station sandwiches, and fast food.
And when we spend hours driving from location to location, I'm not getting in as much exercise as I can when I'm off the road. So nutrition becomes even more important to think about. AG1 Next Gen contains more vitamins and minerals than ever before, and it's clinically shown to fill common nutrient gaps. That's huge because it helps me stay consistent and keep a healthy baseline even when I'm on the road. It's easy to mix up in the van, and there are 4 great flavors, so you never feel like you're drinking the same thing every day. AG1 has their best offer ever. If you head to drinkag1.com/parkvibes, you'll get the welcome kit, this morning person hat, a year's supply of vitamin D3 and K2, an AG1 flavor sampler, and you'll even get to try their new sleep supplement AGZ for free, which has been a game changer for my nightly routine, even when I'm stuck sleeping on a van mattress.
That's $126 worth of gifts for new subscribers. All right, now that we're fueled up, back to the story. Since Arches became a national park in 1971, at least 43 arches have collapsed. That's almost one per year.
In August 2008, Wall Arch, 71 feet wide and 33 feet tall, collapsed in the middle of the night. Campers heard what sounded like thunder under clear skies, and people had been standing under it just the day before. In 1991, large sections fell from Landscape Arch, now just 6 feet thick at its narrowest point. The Park Service has permanently closed the trail beneath it. Now, Delicate Arch has advantages. Its shape, an inverted catenary, is inherently stable, a U-shaped curve that eliminates tensile stress and relies entirely on compression. Put simply, the rock is literally pushing against itself, holding itself up. But it has one critical vulnerability. It rests on a very thin, easily eroded clay layer. That's the failure point. Not the arch itself, but its foundation. And 8 natural forces are constantly attacking it. Freeze-thaw cycles, where water seeps into cracks, freezes, expands, and breaks rock grain by grain. Salt weathering, where evaporating water leaves crystals that grow and pry sandstone apart. Chemical weathering, where rainwater dissolves the calcium carbonate cement. Wind erosion, water erosion, daily temperature swings causing expansion and contraction. Exfoliation, where rock slabs peel away, and gravity, always pulling down. These forces have been working for millions of years, but now there's a 9th force, us. Since 2013, University of Utah researchers have been placing seismometers on arches throughout the Colorado Plateau, measuring how they vibrate in response to wind, earthquakes, and human activity. And what they found changed how we understand these formations. Arches vibrate constantly, like guitar strings plucked by wind and distant seismic events. And scientists discovered something concerning. Human vibrations from vehicles, trains, helicopters, and even footsteps create measurable additional stress. A 2022 study published in Frontiers of Earth Science modeled what this means for crack growth over time. Under baseline conditions, comparing an arch near highways and railroads to one in a remote area, human activity increases annual crack growth by approximately 1%. Now, 1% might not sound like much, but here's what that number doesn't tell you. It's the floor, not the ceiling. That's just the background hum of modern civilization, the minimum impact we're having. The same researchers found that other factors amplify the damage dramatically. Halve the distance between an arch and a busy road, and crack growth doubles. Add in heavy helicopter traffic, the kind some parks allow for tourism, and cracks grow over 30% faster. A single moderate earthquake, like those induced by injection wells in the region, can cause cracks to grow 6 times faster than under natural conditions. At high enough sustained vibrations, their modeled arch failed completely. And this is all happening on top of everything else. The freeze-thaw cycles haven't stopped, the chemical weathering continues, the foundation keeps eroding. We've added a 9th force to the 8 that were already working against the arch. I'm telling you this story not to scare you or to shame you or to suggest that you shouldn't visit Arches National Park. Odds are these arches will be around for a long time, whether we're there or not. But it shows how difficult it can be to truly protect our national parks, especially when they become as popular as they are. And beyond just the arch, everything around it feels our impact too. The trail cuts through fragile desert soil covered in biological soil crust, a living layer of bacteria, lichen, and moss that takes decades or centuries to form. This crust prevents erosion, retains water, fixes nitrogen, and it holds the soil together. But a single footprint kills it instantly, and it takes 20 to 250 years to recover when some areas never recover at all. With significant portions of the 1.5 million annual visitors hiking to Delicate Arch, the cumulative damage is staggering. The trail is widened, new paths have formed, each new footprint creates damage that will take centuries to heal. The Park Service knows this, they've known for decades. The question is whether they're able to do anything about it. In 1978, Congress passed a law requiring every national park to establish visitor carrying capacities, and Arches was selected as the national pilot site. Between 1991 and 2000, they ran a comprehensive program that surveyed thousands of visitors. And even the visitors said they wanted fewer people. So the superintendent at the time proposed parking limits, a reservation system, and reduced spaces. He said, "I do not believe that national parks should always build more and more facilities in order to meet ever-increasing visitation." But the Moab tourism industry revolted and the program collapsed. By 2000, it was abandoned. But what happened next was worse. Between 2006 and 2019, the new superintendent did the opposite. He widened roads and added parking lots so you could see almost every major attraction without even having to get out of your car. But the Park Service had become trapped. The more famous the parks became, the more visitors they attracted. The more visitors, the more pressure to accommodate them. And accommodating them required more infrastructure, which attracted even more people. By summer 2021, the system broke completely. The park closed its gates 118 times because of overcrowding. Traffic backed up onto the highway, and there were reports of fistfights over parking spots. So in 2022, Arches finally implemented what had been proposed 22 years ago, a timed entry system. Visitors need reservations during peak season, and only about 2,700 vehicles per day are allowed. Visitation dropped from 1.8 million to around 1.5. The dangerous backups disappeared, and 84% of visitors said they supported it. But here's the question: is it enough? The timed entry system still allows 1.5 million visitors annually. That's more than 50 times what Abby ever experienced. It's still enough people to prevent the biological soil crust from recovering, still enough vibrations, adding baseline stress to every existing crack, stress that compounds with every road expansion, every helicopter tour, every regional earthquake. Still enough footsteps to compact soil and accelerate erosion beyond natural rates. The Park Service is caught between two mandates that can't be reconciled. The 1916 Organic Act says they must conserve resources and provide for public enjoyment in ways that leave them unimpaired. But what happens when those goals conflict? When providing access causes the damage you're supposed to prevent?
The law says conservation should be predominant, but in reality, the political and economic pressures all go in the other direction.
The park system generates $55 billion in economic output and supports over 400,000 jobs. Nobody, including me, wants to tell someone they can't visit their own park. So here's what visiting Delicate Arch looks like today. The hike up to the arch is 3 miles round trip with about 480 feet of elevation gain. The parking lot at Wolf Ranch is usually about 3/4 full by 9 a.m.
So the trail up follows an old roadbed and then starts to climb across the slick rock. There's no guardrails, there's no shade, just an endless line of people stretching across the red rock like a pilgrimage route.
At sunset, hundreds gather in the natural amphitheater around the arch. They form lines to take photos, wait their turn to stand beneath it with arms raised, recreating the pose they've seen 1,000 times on Instagram. And the trail itself tells a story. It's worn to bare rock in sections, widened where people walk side by side, detoured where congestion forces people off the designated path. You won't see much cryptobiotic crust along the trail. The Park Service has signs everywhere that your steps matter. But with this many people, the damage is inevitable. I'm here at the arch as the sun sets. The crowd is thinned, but there are still dozens of people here taking photos, making memories, and yes, posting to Instagram. The arch glows red in the fading light. It's been standing for thousands of years, and it will fall eventually, Tomorrow or millennia from now, nobody knows. But here's what we're losing faster than the arch itself. That experience Edward Abbey described, the solitude, the silence, the sense of standing in a truly wild place that exists on its own terms, not as a backdrop for selfies. That's already gone, and it's not coming back. You can't have 1.5 million people experience wilderness. Wilderness requires the absence of people. It requires space to be itself without human interference.
We're asking a place to be two things at once, a temple and a tourist attraction, an Instagram hotspot and a geological wonder, a protected national treasure and an economic engine.
Those things can't coexist. Not at this scale, not with this many people. So Delicate Arch will stand for as long as geology allows. But when it falls, whether from purely natural forces or with that small but compounding pressure from human activity, maybe we'll finally confront the question we've been avoiding. Did we truly protect these places? Or did we just love them to death?